So you've been thinking about freelancing, but you're not sure where to start. You're not even sure what industry to go into. You're not sure about your skills or anything like that. If this is you, then this is the perfect video because today I'll be talking about how I knew what type of freelancer I wanted to be and where to focus. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well. If you're joining me for the first time, welcome. I'm Phebi, and on this channel I talk all things freelancing and personal growth. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you stick around and you subscribe to this channel, and also hit the notification bell to get notified anytime I upload a video. I was thinking a lot about how I started freelancing and what my journey was like. And I'm taking it all the way back to when I first found out about freelancing and thought to myself, yes, this is something I wanted to do. I had actually changed industries and I was doing project management. So I was working in the PMO field, and we had just moved homes at that point. And I knew I wanted to start my own thing, just be able to work from home so that I can manage my own time better. This was pre-2020, which meant that, all this working from home wasn't as normal as it is now. I knew I wanted to just be in charge of my own time. So we had moved home, and I just remember, trying to figure out what it is I wanted to do. So what I used to do was go into Google and type in how to start a business with no money. Literally, I wanted to start with the bare minimum so that I can grow and so that I can build. And Google gave me lots of lists of things that you can do. And one of the things that was on there was becoming a website designer. So building websites for businesses and people who are starting out and all sorts of things. And there was also, I remember, copywriting as well. And I knew writing wasn't for me. Even though I enjoyed writing, it just wasn't for me. So I kind of looked at the website side of things. I also saw virtual assistants on there. Time went on and I didn't actually start freelancing straight away. I guess there was a little bit of imposter syndrome there. And I felt like I have never done any of these for anyone. No one's ever paid me to make websites for people. I don't even know where to start. So as you do, I was Googling, doing lots of research, watching videos as well on building websites. But I didn't start there. When I first started out, I actually started doing events. And I started a few different events. I actually wanted to do wedding events, which it never took off. I was very good at writing business plans because back then, when you wanted to start anything, what you would do is write a business plan of how you're going to do things. And that's the bit where I was always stuck when it came to starting a business of my own, was creating the plans. I could create the plan, which was good. But then moving forward with it and actually taking action was where I'll say I was stuck most of the time. So I did that. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to stop doing business plans, and let me just, take action, and then I'll figure out the rest later. So I started an online platform. I remember starting this online platform on Instagram, and it was where I would do events for mums. And, supporting mums who want to have that work-life balance. So I used to run workshops as well and all those sorts of things, which was quite good. I was doing that for a while, but it wasn't really profitable for me. So I stopped. And not only that it wasn't really profitable, what I found was, even though I was putting a lot of effort into it, it was taken away from my family life as well because I was so focused. I stopped that for a little while and I just said, I can't not do anything, of course. I had to do something. I still had my nursing job, which meant that I could do night shifts whenever I wanted to, which is what I did. I also did some contracting work as a nurse as well. I had so much experience that I could literally use it with anything. I had my nursing experience and I also had project management experience. And I looked at myself and I looked at the common themes throughout my career at that point. And one of the things that I noticed was systems. I enjoyed IT when I was in secondary school. I did very well in the technology lessons, and that was really good. but I never really identified it as my skill, or I thought it was something everybody was good at. And that's one of the first mistakes that people make, is thinking that everybody else knows it. Even if it comes so easy to you, you tend to think that everyone else knows it, which is not always the case. Most of the time, it's not the case. When I was actually in nursing as well, what I found is that I used to train people on certain tools and systems as well. I implemented like a system as well, and I trained people on how to use it when I was a nurse. And then when I went into project management, it was the same kind of thing that I was doing. I was implementing things and also training people on how to use it and making things more efficient. And I said, like, that is what it is. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on helping business owners to implement systems to help them save time, which is the foundation of what I do. It's more about saving time so that they too can spend time with family. Because those were the two things that I struggled with, was family time and basically not having enough time, right? So my core value was to help business owners to save time so that they can spend more time with their family. And that's what I focused on. That's when I came across a platform, a CRM platform, which I started learning about. I saw that other people were doing it as well. One thing about me is that I try to find other people who are doing it just to prove to myself, or just to say, yes, this has been done before. I've recently learned that I don't always have to do that. But back then, what I did was I looked for people who were doing exactly what I wanted to do. And I saw that people were doing it. They were making money from it. So I trained myself. I learned the system. And that was my offer. This was a CRM, a client relationship management tool, that helps business owners to bring all their client data into one place and set up automations that will help run things smoothly. So things like sending contracts, invoices, any forms, emails, so much things that you can do with it that a lot of business owners were spending so much time doing. That was me. That was the person I was, and I still am, the person who helps businesses do that. So as you can see, what I did was I actually looked at what I was good at, looked at my past career and looked at what is it I was good at, and brought everything that I knew together, even problems that I was facing. I brought all of these things together, and that's how I decided to become a system strategist. Now, the challenge is that system strategist, or a system strategist, as others would like to call it, I don't think it really wasn't very popular at that time. So again, there was a bit of imposter syndrome, because I always felt like the kind of person who would pick things that was very interesting to me, but not a lot of people were interested in. So that just kind of put me down. So I was doing a little bit of marketing here and there. I had my own system set up. That's one thing I've always said that I've done right, was having my own system set up. And I was doing a bit of marketing here and there. I think I was posting every day, but back then Instagram wasn't as rigorous as it is now. And I was solely focusing on Instagram. And one day I was sitting in my living room, watching TV, spending time with the family, and I just saw a notification, a payment notification on my phone. And I was super excited. And I said to myself, how can I literally be sitting down here and get a payment notification? How easy is that? Even though I still have to implement the work, I already knew what to do. I had done so much practice at this point that I felt like I knew the system very well. That is how I decided what kind of freelancer I wanted to be. And that was to help business owners save time by using technology, automations, to help them save time and grow their business. Over time, as I was doing projects every now and then, it wasn't consistent. So I was looking for a way to bring in some consistent income. And my first virtual assistant client, at the time, I didn't know it was called virtual assistant, but my first client had already built their system. However, they needed someone to manage it for them. And they asked me if I could help manage it for them. But I said, sure, I'll do that. So I didn't have a title at the time. I wasn't sure how, what I was going to call it. I did some research, did some digging on Google, as you do. And then I found that there are people called virtual assistants, mainly virtual assistants, but also you can subcategorize it and you can have different kinds of virtual assistants who are more specialized and focused. So that's when I decided to add tech virtual assistant to my list of services that I do to bring in those retainer clients. So what it would be any client that I do a systems build out for, I would then offer a retainer service for that client so that they didn't have to manage it. Even though you build your systems, you still have to manage it. Things do break. So you want to make sure that things are still up and running. If there's any problems, you can troubleshoot it and all of those sorts of things. And then you're going to add your admin because, again, remember, it is a virtual assistant role and most virtual assistant roles admin as well. So that's what I did. I started getting virtual assistant clients. The thing with virtual assistants, when you're doing a virtual assistant role, it tends to merge with a managing role. You start to understand the business very well and you start to do things without the business owner asking you to do things. What I found was that even though I was classified as a virtual assistant, I started taking on managerial roles. Then I decided that I wanted to get paid a little bit more. So I decided that I was going to become an online business manager. I started providing that service, and I actually do prefer online business management because that meant that I can give more of my opinions, strategize as well. So it was a mix of system strategist and virtual assistant because it meant that I can do both work. So as an online business manager, what you're doing is managing a lot of the businesses, but you need to understand processes and systems and know how to use tech. And of course, you're always going to have some admin in that as well. I started getting OBM clients, and I would definitely say that when I was offering tech virtual assistants and online business management, I was getting quite a few clients come in. I felt like I was actually more organized the more clients I had, because you have to be, when you have lots of clients, you have to be organized at a certain point. I had clients but over time, what I found is that when you're a virtual assistant and you're an online business manager, I wasn't super focused on one thing. And this is something that I've recently come to terms with, is that when you do an online business management role and when you do tech virtual assistants, you're doing a little bit of everything in the field. You're doing some client management, you're doing some systems, you're doing some admin, you're doing some marketing as well, and marketing content and branding and all of those things. So you have your hands in both. Now, there are courses out there or mentors or coaches out there who would tell you that online business manager and VAs, you can actually specialize in certain things, which you can. I'm not saying you can't. However, when you still have those titles and when you still offer those kind of services, you are still expected to dabble your hands in. I don't really feel like it's realistic to say that you just offer marketing or you just offer social media. Nowadays, we have lots of social media managers or social media VA. But for me, back then, it was still, I was putting my hands in too many places as an online business manager. I decided to step it right back and focus on system strategist. Now, I did still offer tech virtual assistant services, but it wasn't a service that I promoted. In saying all of that, one of the things that I did experience, I guess, from time to time was burnout, because I was implementing systems, managing all these things, going to bed late, just because I wanted to make sure I was able to do a quick turnaround. And I felt like it was okay, but if you want to be a freelancer, the best thing to do is to really specialize and laser in on one specific service, one main service that people will come to you for. Not to say that people won't ask you for other things, which you can still do if you have the capacity. But I think to really be able to grow without hiring a large team or anything like that is to really focus on one thing and become that specialist. That way you can still do what it is you enjoy doing as a freelancer. If I was to start again, I would definitely start from the entry point, which I would say is a tech virtual assistant, because then that way you can grow with your business. As your business grows, you can now start to become more specialized. So I'll definitely say, if I was to start this again, and this is for anyone else who is thinking about starting out as a freelancer, try and, work your way up into what it is you want to do. So for me, it would look like start off with tech virtual assistant straight away. I can still offer my specific services, but start with that, get some experience there, start to learn how everything goes. And then what I would do would be to do the online business management. Once I've done that, then I can really specialize and hone in and focus on things that I do want to provide for my clients and just become that really, focused specialist where I can do something over and over again. Because I've done it so many times, it's going to be easier, it's going to be faster for me. So that's what I'll definitely do. And that's what I'll suggest for anyone who is also starting out. If you feel like you've already got the experience, you already got everything that you need to know, you've been working in a 9-to-5 and you're already a website designer or developer or something like that, and you want to now start freelancing, then you've got plenty of experience. But someone like me who wasn't really coming from any of those industries really, and just use the skills that I already had and learnt, I would say definitely start from an entry level and work your way up. Other people might have different views, but that's how I think is more realistic that way for me. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments below. If you're starting out in freelancing and you're yet to choose what service you want to provide, then comment below your ideas and let's see how we can support you as well. If you've already started, let me know what industry you're in the comments below. That's it from me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get notified when I upload my next video. All right, that's it from me. Bye for now.